Hey, Diamond Drew.
How's it going?
Hey, man. Who's your friend there that dropped
Oh,
you off?
yeah, the gnarly hog there.
Is that a Hell's Angel?
That was a Hell's Angel. I used this new app called Ride Angels where you use your phone to get a ride. It's like a Lyft or an Uber, but a Hell's Angel. You get to ride on the back of a Hell's Angel
that's
motorcycle.
awesome.
Pretty cool.
Hey, he's waving at you.
Yeah, I gotta.
You should wave back at him.
Yeah, I'd like to just wait for him to leave and kind of maybe turn off a couple lights. And
He's not going anywhere.
he is. He's definitely hanging out.
Kind of.
He is a sketchy dude.
What's the app called again so I can
It's
use
Ride Angels.
Ride Angels on the App Store. On the Apple App Store.
Coming soon to a theater near you will be the woo. Yeah, find yourself in the square and see it's true. Actual facts to snack on and chew. My positive energy sounds peace to you. A wise man killed one horse and made glue. Wicked women putting period blood and stew. Don't that make the stew witches brew? I fear for the 85 that don't got a clue. How could he know what the fuck he never knew? God save a divine to show it.
Let's all be wizards and fly around in the sky. Let's all be wizards, immortal we can never die. Let's cast some spells with all of our dear friends. Let's all be wizards, the magic it would never end. And we'll fly so high in the sky.
Yeah, did you hear what happened with Alex Jones?
Well, I heard he really got a taste of his own supplements.
What do you mean?
No, I don't know what happened.
Kind of. No, he's not really supporting our current president anymore.
Well,
He was really mad about Syria thing.
I mean, if anyone would tell the truth about Syria, then I'm sure Alex Jones would have reason to not be mad. But
He always knows like some really important people that he can't name that feed him his information.
That's serious situation, man. Anything you see or hear about Syria is set dressing for what's actually going on.
Yeah, it is. It's the pretext.
So this is serious.
Yeah, this is a very serious.
They're trying to get to Damascus so that they can get all the artifacts stored there.
Well, I heard about that it's what aliens are
belongs in a museum.
They have whatever the artifacts are supposed to be
of the
placed
Anunnaki.
in. They just don't have the artifacts. So it's not a complete circuit.
Let's go over this though. What artifacts are there? In
crystals,
Syria.
great texts.
There's the earliest known cringe compilation.
No,
Yes,
that's
I think
not
that
real.
might be one. No,
So,
actually.
and is it the aliens are interested in this stuff, right?
Everybody's interested in this stuff.
All right.
That's why Syria, even though the whatever establishment was there, is trying to rein in the rebels so that things will go back to normal. But I think we're pretty far beyond that now with the U.S. involvement.
Well, hello and welcome to Let's Just Be Wizards. I'm your host, Adam Hilton, and with me in the studio we have...
Diamond Drew. How's it going, everyone?
And
also...
Max Lehman. I'm back, you guys.
He's back.
I'm back in my town.
He's back.
We were all worried about you.
Yeah.
He just still hasn't told us where he went.
Where'd you go?
What do you mean, when?
See? He's just keeping tight-lipped about this.
You got to tell me the dates.
Mm-hmm.
Today on Let's Just Be Wizards, we will be looking into the edgy realm of blood magic. Various faiths around the world seem to agree that blood is a powerful substance. The classic Blood Brothers ritual, whereby two typically unrelated individuals can create a familial bond by exchanging blood, is an ancient practice that spans cultures across the globe. Did you guys ever do that?
No.
Have a blood brother or sister?
Nope.
I had a very close friend growing up, but we became distant.
But did you cut each other's hands and press them together?
No, we didn't.
Never did that.
Well, okay. Anyways, I want to give a big shout out right now to our latest Patreon friend, V, who pledged $50 to the show.
Hooray. Thank you, V.
Thank you, V.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
For her immensely helpful contribution, V will be receiving a personalized totem. And she's decided that this one is going to be in the form of song lyrics. So,
Okay.
I want to get something very
Nice.
This is something perhaps we should all
We got-
collaborate
Do we know what
on.
kind of genre of song she's
Yeah,
trying
she
to
sent
do?
me the song file.
Oh, we have a backing track to
Yeah.
work with.
That's great.
Oh.
I can't wait to get started on that.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty good.
Hmm.
So yeah, thank you so much for
man.
supporting the show. You can
Thank
become
you.
a Patreon member and receive exclusive gifts by going to patreon.com/Let's Just Be Wizards today. So how's our magical weeks going, guys?
I'm about to go to Hawaii.
Wow, that's magic.
Yeah.
Wow. Aloha oi.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Wow.
is that it though?
That's
You're
that's
very
it.
excited about this
I'm
Hawaii
very
trip.
excited. I've
You've
been looking
talked about
forward
it
to it.
every show. Seems like.
Yeah, you've definitely been kind of rubbing it in our faces.
Oh my God, you guys!
That
I'm
you're
sorry.
going on a tropical.
You're making me feel
island
so
vacation.
self-conscious right now. It's giving me a
Yeah,
hard
I
on.
feel so bad about.
I'm having
Oh,
a
he's going to
self-conscious.
Hawaii
I'm having
and
a
we're
self-conscious
not.
hard on right now because
gonna
you're
be
mentioning that on the air.
Playing
but
a little
yeah.
pineapple ukulele and a little
Okay,
skirt.
yeah.
Coconut
Dude, he's gonna be
bra
like,
on.
I am a sugarcane lord. My pineapples grow tall in the mountains.
What is that a reference to?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
You,
Something I say sometimes.
my pineapples grow
It's
tall in the
impossible to
mountains. I've
live in
heard you say
Hawaii
that
if you're not
before.
from
Yeah.
there. If you're from Hawaii, it's possible to live in
You-
Hawaii.
My good friend lives in Hawaii. And
Is he
from
from
there.
Hawaii?
Yes.
Yeah, see?
He's Okinawan, and he came to San Francisco and slept on our couch for 4 years.
I've had good
a
friends
good
like
run.
that.
Yeah.
I've
So
had I've had good couch friends.
Shout outs to couch bros everywhere.
yeah, shout outs to Mikey.
Yeah.
Mikey.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
wait.
What, Mikey?
The one from Hawaii.
No, I said what, Mikey? Yeah. Like shout out.
Oh, like
to-
what,
That was my
Mikey?
shout out, dude. See, you're the hunchback now.
Look me in the eyes and say
You're the
that, though.
hunchback.
You're the hunchback now.
You're the hunchback now, Adam.
That's a lot of weight off my hunch. I'm glad it's out there in the open. What about you, Diamond Drew? Anything magical?
I feel
happen?
like, man,
we last met?
every time I've been trying to do magic, and I think we talked about this a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I just feel like I've been on the defense lately. Like I'll run into some other wizardly types and realize that they were the ones who placed that curse or whatnot on me, or perhaps just blocked a spell I was doing. Anyway, I feel like I've been on the defense magically a lot lately, and this week's study, I think, was I don't know if I've seen any positive results from that at this point per se, but we will see, what the eventual outcome is. But as for magic right now, I don't know. I've just been feeling very magically on the defense.
You're doing that LBRP. You know me.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah,
I have been.
me too.
In fact,
I still use that video to do the lesser banishing ritual. But eventually I think I'll probably memorize it. So I can't think of anything particular. All I know is I was thinking about this episode and probably focusing a lot on the on what I had to do for it.
yeah.
So I don't know. It was more just kind of like, shit, what am I gonna do for this? Anyways, we'll go into it later. But okay, yeah, we're gonna take a break for our sponsor right now.
Hang on 1 minute. I'll be right back. I'm having terrible acid reflux. I'll be right back.
He's having terrible acid
Terrible.
reflux right now.
Terrible.
And
Give him a Bezor.
what's the only cure for acid reflux?
I think goat gallstones or Bezors.
Bezors?
The Bezor, like from Harry Potter land.
So that's a J.K. Rowling creation?
No, and there's an actual thing, and I think they actually did use that for some stuff. It was very early, like you know about smelling salts and stuff like
Yeah,
that
to help
like
people wake
to
up.
help someone wake up. It's kind of like that. It's a extra mineral deposit that's found in like a goat's stomach or something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's like a stone, like a bowel stone or something.
Something like that,
It's in their stomach, so yeah,
or somewhere else. I don't know.
it's a kidney stone.
Take this out of the show right now.
No, we're keeping this in.
Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. I'm quoting Harry Potter. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been generally a good wizarding week for me.
We haven't talked about Harry Potter that much lately.
I think people, if they
I mean,
like,
that's
if
what
they
this
like,
show was
if they like
originally
the idea
about.
of there being magic, they need to figure out how to make magic happen.
And we're part of the Harry Potter podcast network.
I think media,
HPPN.
media, as in movies and shows, are great because they're outlets of imagination, but they leave kind of a hole behind them because people were not encouraged to have their own imagination.
Well, did you know that I've never seen or read any Harry Potter thing ever? Except that Fantastic Beasts one. Call back to our second episode, I think.
I think I read up until Order of the Phoenix, and then I just stopped. It's just like, no, I'm not reading these anymore. It was while I was in the hospital.
They
that
just
one
keep
time.
making them, huh? There's no
Yeah.
end to them.
Yeah.
How old is Harry Potter now?
I think he's got. Well, the thing is, because what's tricky about that is the actors. They grew up in a faster spurt because even though it was 1 year after year at the magical school, they did not make a movie every year.
Yeah, it didn't.
So,
yeah, that's what happens when you're trying to do like a TV show
Yeah,
in
I
the
mean-
form of films, feature-length films.
You know, that's why things like OAVs, like the technical translation of that would be like a movie they don't make a sequel of. They just go on to another premise, or maybe just somewhere else in the world or universe. Like, I would love to see more ethnic types of magic in Harry Potter, and there just aren't. It's all a bunch of Latin.
Yeah, like and fake stuff too that doesn't have. I mean, it doesn't have much. I don't know, authenticity to it, right? They didn't really. J.K. Rowling didn't try to use real.
I know.
spells or anything.
Young English men can be like pretty. What do you call it? Like bully. There's a lot of bullying going on in England, apparently. But that was kind of reflected in the movies here and there.
Well, you mean how every movie is like there's bullies in it?
Kind of.
Because have you seen a movie that didn't have bullies in it?
Well,
can you think of one?
Okay, I was gonna think First Blood with Rambo, but no, the sheriff of that town was a bully.
Was a bully, exactly.
And he had many cohorts. Okay.
Sorry about that, guys.
Oh my God, Adam just asked me an impossible question.
All right, Diamond Drew.
Can you think?
Tell
of
me a film. Think of a film that doesn't have bullies in it.
And don't say documentaries.
Okay, hang on. No documentaries.
Yeah.
And no
Movie without a bully in it.
and no just music performances or anything.
Hang on.
It's impossible.
Hold on.
It's impossible to do that.
Can we
What?
Can we come back to that? I want to think about it for a little bit.
All right, should we go on to the
He
news
just
now?
spit it out at me all
Yeah.
of a sudden. And it's
Did
like,
you guys keep
And
going while I
now
was going?
it's to the news.
the news?
All right, so so this neo-Nazi group proclaims that they're a good Christian server and kicks a bunch of people from chat. No, what's happened is
That went over my head.
this worldwide neo-Nazi group out of the UK called the Atomwaffen is falling apart from within thanks to this faction group within them that subscribes very adamantly to the Order of the Nine Angles,
What?
which we have covered in a past episode. So what went down here was, well, I mean, as we know, in order to join the O9A, you need to be a burglar or a drifter or infiltrate a fringe group.
Yeah.
Or become a police officer. So if this guy was, really going full on O9A, then, what better group to get in on than some neo-Nazis?
So they infiltrated a neo-Nazi group or a
a
satanic group?
neo-Nazi group called the Atomwaffen
Oh, so they've been infiltrated by
an O9A. And then
where are they from?
Specifically a guy named Vincent Snyder, who decided to post a bunch of O9A stuff on an online message board thread.
Yeah.
A rather popular one. But some of the more influential Anons were having none of it. So they banned him. They dropped the hammer. And they were all like, oh, no, this is hurting our brand. We don't want these Satanists involved with our neo-Nazism. Forget about forget about the fact that these O9A members
I don't want no raisins in my perfect white porridge.
definitely tragically murdered this guy named Blaze Bernstein.
What?
Yeah. So these
Blaze?
this gay Jewish teenager named Blaze Bernstein
Damn, that's
got
a sick
straight up
name.
murdered. I know, doesn't he have the coolest fucking name? Like, yeah, burn one for Blaze Bernstein here, guys.
It was actually Berenstain.
No, shut up.
No,
We're not.
it's
No,
not.
this man was fucking murdered.
I've tried
Can we
to
have
do
this,
that one
like,
before.
Was
a
this
little-
recently?
Yes.
Oh,
All right.
too soon.
So,
Sorry.
just like,
Go,
yeah.
okay, go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, so, but they were not like, they were otherwise, this Nazi group was otherwise in favor of them murdering this guy, except that they were doing it because they were also satanic.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. And they said that, oh, this would have been great for our brand image if you just hadn't been satanic.
What? Where did you find this article?
This was on, I forget which, it was like Post or something like that.
Wow, and it has an O9A person ritually murdered someone. Where is this?
This was where that happened. I'm not sure. The group, the Ottowaffen,
Sounds like
is
German, right?
well, it's a German name, but they're based in the UK. By all accounts, though they have factions. They're a worldwide organization, who previously had factions on pretty much every continent. But because of this satanic stuff, because enough of the people involved were like, well, I'm with the O9A guys, and the other guys were like, well, I'm with these other, with these other group within the group.
Because how many O9A people did we say there were on that show?
We said there
In
was
worldwide.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like 13?
Well, apparently it's more than that.
Yeah, one of the 13 or several of the 13 are acting.
Actually, whatever this person's motivations were, they successfully drove a splinter through a neo-Nazi group and pretty much
I wonder if
causing
each
it
of the
to
13th is
fall apart from within.
is archetypal, like the Mason, the fisherman, that type of thing.
But like, I mean,
What
this.
about 13?
Here's the thing about this. This went
They have
down.
archetypes.
Wait, what, Max? What are you talking about?
13 archetypes, right?
Oh, for which one?
If there can only be 13, the O9A, right?
Oh, no. I mean, that's just how many there are population.
Period.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have anything to do with them in any technical aspect. It would appear as though at this point there are
It was like a joke.
There are more than 13 members of the O9A at this point.
Oh, okay.
Well, really, honestly, to me, the intriguing part about this is how this all went down in true online culture form, where any of the guys participating in these groups just pretty much started like shit posting each other with memes. Like the guys who didn't like the 09A guys would do like Harry Potter memes and just shit post them endlessly in chat
on
rooms
each other's-
and stuff. Yeah, on in chats and on threads and things. So
Okay, is that online battle?
this was a battle that largely existed online, but was significant enough within the culture of this group to actually cause it to pretty much fall apart.
Well, they were all on their computers anyway.
Yeah, they were, and honestly, like if 09A and Satanism are damaging to any organization involved with neo-Nazism, then like good on them. But I mean, keep in mind the guy in question here did definitely murder Blaze Bernstein.
Yeah, there's just so much of a mess. Here.
lot
I
to
wouldn't
unpack
dare
with
try
this
to
one. Like
go
I
in and
wouldn't
try and
like.
find the glimmer.
There's no
of good.
glimmer of hope here. This was just an awful story that I thought was.
So wait, he was killed because he was gay, or because he just
Because he
happened
was
to be...
because he was a gay Jewish teenager and he was killed in a hate crime by a hate group.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. These stories are always bummers, you know.
Dude, it's gonna get bummer because
Okay.
there's more. There's more. Bad news.
Okay, let's.
In India, this guy, he was a child abuser, and he tried to use being a practitioner as witchcraft in his defense for abusing a child.
Okay.
So, and also somewhere else on the African continent, some guys with impossible pronounced to names had impossible to pronounce crimes, which were somehow tied into them practicing witchcraft illegally. My takeaway from today's
Impossible to pronounce crimes.
yeah, I couldn't make heads or tails of it. My reading skills had hit a wall with that article.
Okay.
And essentially my takeaway from this was that the news just would like to paint any form of occult magic practices in a negative light.
Yeah, I guess they want if something good happened, like
They're
someone
like-
uses magic powers to heal their community.
Yeah, like,
They're like, no.
no, they're just like, look, Satanism is bad. It's there with Nazis and child abusers and guys with hard to say names, like, like Joseph or whatever.
Yeah. Joseph. That's not hard to pronounce. name.
Okay, fair enough.
Didn't
But-
you? There was also a big article in Vice recently that's been gaining a lot of attention.
Oh, which one about the ice cream shop in Cleveland?
No. It's about wow, ice cream. Okay, so it's about how paganism is starting to get infiltrated by neo-Nazism and white supremacy.
Oh, okay.
Similar vein. To,
I think that this was. I
the
think
last
this was
story.
connected to that last story and the
Maybe
that group. That was the group in question where
Oh.
where the pagan neo-Nazi subgroup grew from within them and split up the group essentially.
But now 09A isn't pagan, right? That's
I think
satanic.
the
Theistic-
article might have taken some liberties because they didn't want to get into a whole piece explaining what 09A was. They just wanted to use probably
think-
some more blanket terms.
I think at the end of my
so
history,
that the mundanes didn't get too confused.
Okay.
the end of my history segment, it talks a little bit on like what modern day pagans are like,
'Cause
what
the-
real modern day pagans are like, but in relation to something else, not political belief, but rather with animals.
Mm-hmm.
So
What they do with animals.
yeah, they don't like a lot of the old world did animal sacrifices,
Yeah.
and not so much today.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of like modern movies like Troy, the temple to Apollo. There was blood and hide in there and all that stuff, and there were these sanctified rooms. kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the news?
That's the news.
That's the news. All right. So, what is blood magic? Well, you could only imagine. Blood magic is any magic that involves the intentional release of blood. Blood contains our DNA, delivers oxygen to the body, and some might say it's kind of necessary to our survival.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Blood is said to contain some of the spirit of the individual it is drawn from. Often seen as nefarious or horrific, blood can be used to strengthen a spell, create a deeper connection with the user's intent.
Are movies with blood in them better?
Yes.
Nice.
We know this. Just like video games with blood in them were better.
Wow.
In the 90s.
Absolutely. There has to be. They have to have.
There's some. It feels like there's something to this.
They have
already.
to have the right kind of like red liquid for the lighting too. That's always important.
I mean,
'Cause
can
it
you?
has to look fresh and like
Yeah.
spewing forth.
And okay, well, why don't you just hit us with the history then, Max, since you already know so much about how blood should be lit in a scene.
Okay. Well.
We got a gaffer over here.
Yeah.
Look at
Oh.
this guy.
Okay. Gaffer Max.
Gonna go gaff some lighting.
Max has returned with the history.
The history. All right. I took this from humanreligions.info. I mean, I spent more time preparing for the spell than writing the history, but I think I got kind of a loose grasp on some of the classical, semi-religious stuff when it comes to like blood sacrifices. I didn't go too further into more technical, like what types of spells they use, because that's kind of your department. But anyways, with Judaism, the Hebrew scriptures contain a great volume of text on the correct methods of animal sacrifice, which is usually brought by burning, and God itself on many occasions states in scripture its love of burnt offerings, especially the firstborn.
Could you eat them after you offered them? Weren't they just having a
Sometimes.
barbecue?
I heard that was
It depends
the way that it
on
worked.
what your faith is. But yes.
God, because you just smell that firstborn calf burning.
Oh
on that
man, no! Like,
barbecue and
ooh, a couple
I know.
cold
you
ones
sure
here.
God's
Yeah.
not
I
going
know.
to eat all of that, is
Let's
he?
let's pour some honey on it and put it in a barrel,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
some salt.
in the Old Testament, according to what, and this was something my dad had pointed out to me when he was rereading the Old Testament. He's like, "Oh, look what it says here. You give the sacrifice to the rabbi and let him do it."
Yeah.
So it would appear as though the rabbi and his
There is-
family were
Wow.
probably eating a lot, and
We'll
a lot
get
of
to
good-
that
And then
soon. It touches upon
firstborn
that.
firstborn meat, and that possibly everyone else might have
Tender.
been getting kind of the
I'll touch upon that. Pretty
Raw
crappier
deal?
deal on
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Get it.
Anyways, classic example in the Bible: Adam and Eve's children are the first to sacrifice produce and give it to God. Cain gives vegetable products, and Abel gives the firstborn of his flock and fat thereof. God rejects Cain's offerings and praises Abel's. The emphasis
Don't
was
give me a salad.
actually a common feature in many of Sumerian religions too. And Cain and Abel's story was a copy from older Sumerian myth involving brothers Enkidu and Dumuzi, and both myths represent the ancient feud between the desert and sown land, between nomad and farmer. So it's kind of a metaphor for the stage.
But-
of
Wait, so
humanity.
you're saying there was cultural relevance to that story and the time that
Absolutely.
it came out, and has pretty much nothing to do with context of anything that
of
would
being
matter
actual
today?
people? Do you mean there was a Romulus and a Remus? No, there was just the two rivers.
Like a remus of paper or something?
I don't know. Anyways, Judaism, as it was practiced in the ancient world, became a very technical religion, ruled by its priests, who also produced its scripture. The Jewish law details the methods that are to be used during ritual slaughtering of animals, called shechita. The person who performs the killing is called a shochet. In the Jewish community, all birds and mammals are to be eaten and slaughtered according to the Jewish law. Jews may not eat animals that died of natural causes, or eat animals killed by other animals.
How are you supposed to cut the bull to or the cow to make it kosher?
I'll get to that soon.
Oh, okay.
It's
It's
very
coming
close,
up.
and then we'll pause and move on to Christianity, or the more modern of the
Ooh,
two.
can't wait.
Yeah. Anyways, Okay, no flaws or diseases must be present in the animals. These restrictions do not apply to fish, only to flocks and herds. During the Shechita, the animal is killed with quick, deep stroke across the throat with a perfectly sharp blade with no nicks or unevenness.
Quick, deep stroke to the throat.
Yep. Shechita is organized as a humane method of killing the animal, more so than a bullet, which is often an inaccurate method, and safer than poison or chemical methods that can leave traces of dangerous chemicals. Other ritualistic components are that the Shochet who performs the Shechita must not be simply a butcher, but be well trained in Jewish law. And as you were saying, Drew, the Jewish rabbi and Shochet were sometimes the same person in older times or in smaller communities. So, yeah.
So how did you explain how to cut it?
Just across the windpipe.
With deep thrust
And you have to
the
let
With
it
a perfect-
hang upside down.
With a
and
perfect knife that you probably use for nothing else.
You can't let the blood splash on the ground or something.
I don't know, man.
That's like some American flag stuff that probably doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
those are flag rules.
They would
Oh,
do
yeah.
this.
On a
They
plot,
would
like-
do this in like a field.
You
They'd
can't
set up
do it
a
in the rain.
tabernacle. They'd set up a tabernacle, like in a tent or something,
Like
so
a
that-
real legitimate tabernacle.
so that they can
Tabernacle.
just bury
Yeah.
the remains and move on. somewhere
Okay.
else.
So that's the Judaisms.
Yeah. Christianity, the Old Testament is rife with animal sacrifice sanctioned and willed by the Old Testament God. They also occur in the New Testament. For example, Joseph and Mary sacrifice a pair of doves or 2 young pigeons, depending on the translation, without receiving any chastisement. According to Mark 5, 1-13 and Luke 8, 26-33, Jesus sacrifices a herd of 2,000 pigs in order to
Damn.
banish a legion of demons that had possessed a man.
Well, technically, he didn't sacrifice them. He just told the demons to jump inside the pigs.
Kind of, yeah. I think just the action.
And then they all drowned themselves. It was so dumb.
they found something else.
Why did
to
they do
attack.
that? Why wasn't the demon trying to drown itself when it was in the man?
Because they were more bioavailable in the herd of pigs.
There was legion. The guy said, like, Jesus asked the man who was possessed by demons, he said, what's your name? And then the demon said, I am Legion,
He is
which means
Legion.
I'm a bunch of
Yeah.
people,
So
not just one demon, yo.
sometimes
Right.
I'll bet multiple personalities type disorder was
No, this was real, man.
seen as
No.
the demon type. Of,
No,
Other
get your
guys
maybe,
DSM,
but not
get your
this guy.
DSM-3 out of here. Jeez,
Oh,
this is a
Right.
show about witchcraft, not debunk the Bible hour
all
with
right.
your DSM.
But
but we're doing that next.
Oh.
historical pagan practices have also included ritual and animal sacrifice and utilized animal parts
And the
within-
blood.
Yes, within the ritual and magic. Traditional religions such as Christianity also inherited their attitude towards blood and animal sacrifice from pagan origins, such as the way in which Abel and Cain were copied from in Kimdu and Dumuzi. Neo-paganism and the modern attempt at reviving polytheism did not include any animal sacrifices for
What
the
do you
most
think
part.
about that?
And so modern pagans are mostly animal rights
Vegans?
oriented.
Yeah.
And, it said something about
Modern pagans are
vegetarianism
vegans?
and vegans. and
I guess,
stuff.
Christians and Jews and all them used to sacrifice things too, and they don't anymore.
Yeah, but
Well,
it's kinda
every
we've all
every
decided-
family doesn't
Chick-fil-A.
raise its food anymore, so I think that's more the case.
Yeah.
You kind of you offered your best once or twice a year
Uh-huh.
so that you could get
And you just give them money.
get the benefit of a good
right,
harvest.
same deal. It's kind of
Yeah.
the same deal. Now you
Kind
just
of better.
Yeah.
cut
'cause then
out
you
the
can
middle
choose
man.
what to
Then
buy.
you can just pick out whatever. Just go get the burger already
Anyways,
made.
closely related to Zoroastrianism, Mithraism was the
Oh,
religion.
dude, would you like carve a Z on The stuff he would sacrifice.
I don't know. Maybe
You're talking about
that's how-
Zoroastrianism. You're talking about, but Max is
I'm
talking
talking
about
about Mithraism.
Mithraism. Yeah, I've heard of that deity before.
Was a religion in which it brought richer ideals of blood sacrifice to Judaism
Oh,
as
wow.
it mutated via Paul, one of the apostles, I guess, into Christianity.
That's what he was into before Christianity?
No, and I think it has to do not so much with Paul, but what Paul said, what his message was, can be linked to Mithraism.
So they did a lot of blood rituals?
Yeah.
Did it go into any of them or nah?
Not really.
We gotta look into that. We'll have an episode on Mithraism.
In Persian holy texts, the Avesta, a Messiah will appear at the end of time and bring the triumph of good over evil and make a potion of immortality for mankind from the fat of a great bull mixed with Hamoa juice. The bull is seen as a symbol of spring, of rebirth, and a very common carving is of Mithras cleansing himself in the blood of a bull. Ritual killing of bulls and washing in its blood was believed to be necessary. This was followed by a meal of the bull's flesh. Life anew could be created from the flesh and blood of the sacrificed bull. The events were bloody rites in which the animal was a sacrificial victim. In the rites of the Taurobolium, or bull sacrifice, a bull was slaughtered on a perforated platform through which blood poured down to bathe the initiate standing in the pit beneath.
Wow. Do you ever take a blood shower in the morning, Diamond Drew?
A blood shower.
Afterwards,
I have never. Well, no, man. I mean,
what do? You get the bowl and put it on
I took like a turmeric blood shower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, how much blood do I need? Like a whole bull's worth.
A whole
here.
bowl. Yeah, bowl worth.
Whole bull's worth of blood. Yeah, I don't know. I
would at least want to wear a swim cap.
Yeah.
No, I want to get. If I'm
Keep it out of
doing
your
it,
hair.
I'm going all in.
Out
But
of the ears, no.
That could discolor your hair.
You think so?
I think it
Blood,
could,
yeah. Blood bath,
Oh.
shower. Who did that? Bathory, right?
I want it to be
Lady Bathory.
I'd want there to be like studio photos of it as I was doing it, kind of.
Yeah.
Gonna cash in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At
Okay.
least with like weird.
So they're sacrificing the bull on the grate and getting the blood shower.
Something like that.
Uh-huh.
And sacrifices are metaphorical in that.
No, it sounds like it's actually
It's something for something else.
yeah,
But
it sounds like people were literally sacrificing animals. I don't think it
in
was a
order to
metaphor.
live, you need the blood.
Uh-huh. Is that
Is
it?
is sacrificing? I mean, is like, are factory farms doing animal sacrifice?
Yeah, they're getting
technically?
all of God's
'Cause
glory.
It seems like
shining
they're
on
just
them.
gonna win. They're just gonna keep winning if they keep doing animal sacrifice so efficiently.
I know.
It's kind of like, but the animals didn't have real lives.
Whatever, dude. Oh, go cry into a cowhide.
We'll cry in a cup.
Go cry in a cup. Don't you go cry in a cup, you vegan?
Oh no, I'm not a vegan. I'm
sure
saying
you're not.
I like meat.
Sure
It's just-
you're not. Sure you do.
All right.
Yeah. I just ate chicken with you guys. Come on, don't
All
call me a
right.
fucking vegan.
Sure you're not.
I just had sesame chicken. Afterwards, the initiate was considered born again. The mysteries of Mithras, like Christianity, celebrated these sacrificial rites symbolically rather than literally. An icon of Mithras slaying a bull was used as their altarpiece rather than enacting the actual sacrifice. Thou hast saved us, shedding the eternal blood.
Oh,
reads
that's
in
why Max wanted the
inscription,
photos, just so he can.
not to Jesus, but to Mithras. Along the centuries later, Christians would express gratitude to their Savior God, man, when similar language to that inscription. Animal sacrifice has been a traditional element of
Zach, Don, and Ian from the Are You Morbid podcast here. We are a podcast dedicated to all things metal.
From death to thrash, power to doom, we discuss everything from the classics of the genre, new releases, unheard gems, and more.
So if you love metal way more than you probably should, with a bit of humor thrown in, head on over to areyourmorbidpod.com or your favorite podcast app and give us a listen. Wow!
All right. Well, that's interesting. All right. That was the history.
Wow, that was...
Yeah, some history.
That was sacrificial.
But then again, history is specific.
What's
So yeah, here's
what
some
even
cool
is this
facts
crazy
about,
blood magic
Yeah,
stuff, man?
Yeah, what is that?
So modern day, one place it's used in that I found was modern day vampiric communities. They like to incorporate blood magic into their
Nice.
rituals.
How do they do that?
So I got this passage from Vampire Ritual book by Michael Bellinger, and it says, most vampire houses have a specific ankh that symbolizes the house and its ideals. For many vampires, whether they belong to a house or not, their ankh represents their dedication to pursuing their identity as a vampire, with all that this entails. So yeah, they anoint the ankh with blood and say,
Is that why goth girls always wore the ankh back in the 90s? Because of vampires.
Mhm,
That's
it's a
freaking
vampire
cool.
thing.
I
That's
never
awesome.
knew that.
I think
Yeah.
my sister had one.
I think she did.
They look nice. They look Egyptian.
They are, aren't they?
Yes.
It has to do with
Were
Osiris.
there vampires in the pyramids?
Maybe.
Ooh.
The vampires were actually the pyramids were actually vampires.
So it says you can draw a drop of blood from your finger and consecrate
Egyptian
the ankh
tomb bats.
with this blood before saying the prayer that I said earlier. Do you guys want to hear the ankh
Yeah,
blood
Yeah,
let's
prayer?
go.
share
let's
it.
go
Go
for it.
ahead.
This is the symbol of life. It is the symbol of my ancient heritage, a heritage I now proudly proclaim. Problematic. Life sustains me and makes me strong.
That's appropriating.
Every breath, yes, and every sweet drop of blood is a celebration of what I am. Let this ankh be my constant reminder as I wear it each night above my heart of the life that is so very precious and the darkness that encircles my soul.
Hey man, this can be my reminder too.
Wow.
Okay, man.
Yeah, come on.
All right, I'm down.
So, a common practice in some West African magic is the use of menstrual fluid in food.
Man, there was you had sent some suggestions, like just some nice little cheat sheet, if you will. They were talking on a lot of that on the cheat sheet. They were like, put your menstrual fluid in a man's food and he'll want to bone furiously.
Yes,
Yeah.
and often.
And frequently, yes.
Yeah, that's how to keep a man with you. Secret. But yeah, that kind of stems from this ancient like voodoo or juju. I don't know what the proper term is.
I think voodoo's fine or hoodoo, whichever.
Yeah. So yeah, put it in the meal and it helps keep your man faithful. Men are warned not to accept drinks of foods.
It's the flavor taste that men crave.
It's flavor country. We'll be honest. Men are warned not to accept drinks or foods, especially dark-colored drinks or soups or stews, from women who are strangers or who are suspected of being witches. One of the activities associated with witches is that they will sneak some of their menstrual blood into a man's food or drink in order to have power over him and control him.
Is that what that girl at Starbucks has been doing?
Aha!
I knew it.
In Thelema, adherents sometimes participate in the Mass of the Phoenix. During this ritual, Thelemites are offered cake of light.
I'm
What-
surprised they never called the car the Phoenix.
What are cakes of light, you ask? Flour, oil, honey, and period
Orphan's
blood.
Oh, period blood. That's what I meant.
Essentially menstrual biscuits. Although the blood
Is that
can
the
be,
flavor taste that men crave?
I believe it is. So, but you could also substitute that if you don't have that for regular cup of jizz.
Really?
Yeah, you could just put your jizz in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is how it says in chapter 3 of the Book of the Law.
But take the figurine out of the jar first.
What figurine? What jar?
The one in the jizz jar. Anyway.
You want to explain that?
No,
to
no,
people?
that's fine.
What figurine in a jar?
Oh, it's a thing. It's a meme. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Is it like the Indian in the cupboard?
There's a figurine. There's a figurine inside of a jar of jizz. It's very similar to the Indian in the cupboard.
Okay.
Or the art piece Piss Christ,
Not quite.
where they have the Jesus. In the
Oh yeah, at the
jar of
airport,
pee.
and they were trying to get the ice cream store shut down.
Oh, I didn't know about those.
Yeah.
Parts. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So this is the recipe for cakes of light from the Book of the Law. For perfume, mix meal and honey and thick leavings of red wine.
Thick leavings.
Then oil of abramelin and olive oil, and afterwards soften and smooth down with rich fresh blood.
Smooth down.
The best blood is of the moon, monthly. Then the fresh blood of a child,
I knew it.
or dropping from the host of heaven. Then of enemies, then of the priest or of the worshippers. Last of some beast, no matter what. This burn, of this make cakes and eat unto me.
So let me get this. There's a hierarchy of the quality of blood you can
Yeah.
use. Number one, blood of the moon from the monthly, which
That's period
we've
blood.
established what that is, but
It's
that's
encoded language.
a
but-
really gross sounding way to. That's somehow the way putting it that way is making it sound grosser. Not that it is. I'm just saying, like when using colorful language to describe, just like
it's becoming
menstrual fluid.
It's
Call
becoming
what it
too
is.
too entrapped.
Exactly, exactly. So the first one's menstrual fluid. Then they say the blood of a child is the
which
next.
some have interpreted as to be cum.
Oh,
Not
baby
actually the
juice.
blood of it. Yeah, see?
Baby. Okay, so that's
Baby
that's
batter.
male human ejaculate. The white stuff.
But really, he was probably just being edgy when he,
He
wrote
was,
that.
but so I'm actually gonna go ahead and take that one at face value and say children's blood
okay.
is the next one down on that list. And then what did they say after that?
Or dropping from the host
or
of
dropping
heaven?
from the host of heaven.
What the hell is
What
that?
I think that one is the
Is the
ejaculate.
jizz. Oh,
okay.
Then of enemies.
Then of enemies. So that means if some, like, leaving the blood on the razor, Gangs of New York style, I dropped this fool and
yeah.
drew his blood. So that's fine. Yeah, good way to do a spell there. Then
Then
the
of the
priest or the followers of said
Yeah.
priest. And then very last, the beast.
Yeah.
Man, I think that I couldn't put any other in that order, like the child before the jizz though.
Child blood.
Yeah, the blood of the child is right behind the menstrual fluid
Yeah.
blood. So children's blood.
There's a really good allegory in here somewhere. for
Somewhere. Well,
something.
not I don't just so we know like what's the best stuff to use is apparently the
In your light
menstrual
cakes.
fluid. Yeah.
Yeah. There's something naughty in these cakes. But what? All right. So
One of these cakes.
next Fear
Let's
Factor.
see what happens.
This very special episode of Fear Factor brought to you by the OTO. And one Native American tribe, the Yurok, when I was researching, they thought of menstrual blood as a poison, keeping menstruating women as far away from other men as possible. So yeah, but theirs was not the only culture like that. So if you want to practice safe blood magic, here's some tips. You don't ever need to use more than a few drops.
Okay.
You don't have to take a blood bath.
Wow.
In drinking too much blood, besides the obvious pathogen
Drinking.
risk,
Of course.
is actually toxic if you're not a
my
vampire.
stomach.
Yeah, more than a couple of teaspoons can cause hemochromatosis.
I don't want to have that.
and potentially do some serious organ
I don't
damage.
want that either.
I don't want that.
Yeah, so just cut back on your blood drinking.
I didn't drink the blood for my spell.
I didn't either.
Missed out. So sanitize the area of skin you will
What?
be drawing blood from,
Wait.
as well as the pricking instrument. Poke only enough to break the skin. Don't go crazy. Disinfect, and take good care of that wounded area, keeping it clean as you would any cut. And feeding your blood to others is discouraged for both health reasons, and it can allegedly cause the consumer of said blood to gain power over the bleeder.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, we can go over experiences now. I think
Nice.
that's all the safe things
that's
you need
so
to keep in mind.
Well, okay. I mean, I definitely tried to be safe about it. I had a Band-Aid. I was wearing a Band-Aid on my face as decoration last week.
It was a good look.
And then this week, after I attempted the blood magic ritual, I actually wound up using the Band-Aid in the spot. I mean, now I consciously chose the same spot where I had been wearing the Band-Aid, but I felt like that was a little bit weird, because it was like, well, that sort of came around to actually being something that I was doing that had no purpose, that then eventually found its purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did to conduct plug magic, which this is one where I haven't really messed with it. Like, if you remember back in the I think Magic Spells episode early on, it asked me to draw some blood for my spell, and I totally cowered it out on that. And
that
did
was for the curse, right?
Or the curse one, and did the spell without drawing any blood, and probably why it didn't work, and probably why I probably wasn't ready to be attempting something like that at that time anyway. But this time, I decided to go ahead and go for it. And one of the suggestions on the cheat sheet that you sent us, I'm not sure what was the source on that.
That was like it was all about menstrual blood.
It was mostly menstrual blood, but it talked about some other things, like, make sure you don't just prick your finger slightly. Now, I didn't prick anything. I got like a blade from a straight razor blade and just cut under my eye, just tiny
under
little
the
bit.
eye?
Just because the skin is thin and you don't have to press very hard. Yeah. So it didn't require me to press very hard. I just, pulled it across there real quick, and some blood dropped out, and I dropped the blood into a candle, which I was making. And then I placed, and also...
it's like a bloody teardrop
sort
in a
of
candle. How much more goth can you
get? Anyway, so I was being so edgy. The edge. So, I then wrote extremely tiny on a piece of paper, the thing that was the thing that I want is the thing, and then I put that inside the candle, just right where the blood was, and then it all set up, and then I put the candle on the altar, and I burned the candle, and burned some incense, and did the lesser banishing ritual, and have not seen any result from my spell, which I cast so far.
How long ago was it? That was like Wednesday or something?
It was Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
We will see. We will see what happens, but the experience itself, like I said, I don't know if I've been able to use magic to actually get things right now. I'm feeling a little spent. We were talking about this.
Me too. Yeah.
Just been feeling spent, been feeling very much on the defensive magically, just keeping
trying to stay
negative
afloat.
Spirits at bay at this point has been taking up enough of my magical energy. So I think to myself, well, maybe blood magic is just the thing I need to use to sort of, jumpstart stuff up real hard. But
it's good for your engine.
I'm just going to point out, dude, nowhere on that list of the best kind of blood to use for this kind of stuff was some dude, some dude's blood. Just I feel like using my own blood for magic is like, trying to jump a car with another dead battery sort of thing. Like, oh, what? Oh, this just going to use my own blood here. It's just like, oh, your stinky old blood isn't going to do any good. You need the pure blood of some fertile woman or an innocent orphan.
Here we
you
go.
know, and
you back to orphan blood.
Back to orphan blood.
And this, this.
Why don't you just become a senator? No, who gets to
Yeah, who
drink
gets?
orphan
I don't know
blood?
who. Political candidates, I
Yeah.
guess, or people who get 501c4 organizations started. And here's the thing: like, there is fucking pain everywhere in the world,
Yeah.
and orphans are probably never gonna get to love their parents. Well, they don't have parents to love. They're never gonna get to experience that. But you know what orphans love? Pizza.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know when you love pizza more than ever? When you just had a pint of blood drained out of you.
Hey, that's true. You can just farm it.
So
and then grow
honestly,
more blood.
oh no, they take some orphans to harvest some of their blood, and then that slice of pizza that they get after that, I mean, you're gonna be like, fuck, I'm an orphan. I'm sad. I have no parents to love. I've not we get into that pizza place, and that just smells
that's
good.
gotta hit the spot.
Man, that's gonna hit the spot. Like, you are going to experience a feeling of love.
It better
towards pizza.
It better be artisan pizza.
That it's
they don't like artisan pizza.
just good old
Kids like
good old doughy pepperoni
yeah.
with extra cheese and
same kind I like.
any right thinking
Right
person
standing
likes.
American.
Yes. So yeah, that experience of love towards pizza has got to be worth something, cosmically or magically speaking.
Yeah. Okay, so you're talking about using the blood of someone else?
I feel
Because
like
that's what I almost did
I
for this
feel like
ritual.
if I could get someone else to give me their blood, or if somehow someone were, if the blood were attained in a way that, I don't want to kill anyone to get their blood.
Oh, no
to
one's
do
saying
magic.
no one's talking about that.
But I would not be beyond tricking someone into giving up their blood in order for me
Tricking
to
them
do
for their-
like
tricking them out of their blood.
I'm not above this. I'm
Hey,
afraid
why don't you
to
leave
say,
some blood there?
Oh, oops!
Forget about it.
Let me get you a Band-Aid. Oh, jeez.
You better get a medical refrigerator if you're gonna have all this blood around.
Okay, man.
Just a regular fridge will work, though,
I mean,
right?
Oh,
I just
okay.
clean it. I mean,
When you go out to the bar with your friends, do they strike you as not goofy enough? Are you annoyed by their lack of fascination with lizard people Illuminati? Do they not chow yum chat? Are they more shit than hit? Then you need to befriend the internet's goofiest pals. Go to illogicalcontraption.com or search them on iTunes.
Believe in the impossible.
I mean, little Clorox will keep your inside of your fridge pretty sanitary.
Wow.
So
As
I mean,
long as you don't have Ziploc
dude,
bags full
I mean,
of blood.
I'm not-
sitting around.
You can have that, though.
I mean,
Put like a straw in
you
it.
could probably just
Yeah.
freeze it, but I don't know.
I'd freeze it.
Like, you don't need that. Like we were saying earlier, you don't need that much.
Mm.
Like, it's a few drops at a time, maybe. But I think that, yeah, if a fertile woman or someone, who still has some hope to who hasn't, like, hey, this guy who's given up on himself and tries to use all his energy to channel demonic powers and fuck around on the internet all day. Let me use his blood for fucking magical stuff. Like, I really don't. It doesn't seem like that potent of a brew when you look at it like that.
Yeah, it's like pretty tainted stream.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually, I had a friend who when I told her that we were doing this episode, she was like, "Oh, do you want to use my blood?" And I was
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And
Wow,
so-
dude, that's so much cooler than what I did.
hey, it's not because it didn't happen
Didn't
that
happen.
way.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
But you know
Would
what?
have
I
been.
kind of after we had that idea, I looked it up and I was like, I can't think of anything because I'm not. I don't know. No part of me is excited about someone else getting cut,
No, and
let alone myself.
that's the other thing too. Like, I don't. I let Jessica cut me that time when she was doing the doing the tattoo on my hand, but that was to
Diamond
get
drew
a
us
tattoo.
that says "You are here" on the palm of his hand.
And that, I mean, you know what? I feel like I wish I had collected the blood from when I got whacked in the head with that glass and had all that blood. That was like I wish I still had that photo because that was like the most I have ever bled in my life.
I think I might have that photo on my phone.
Yeah, that is the most I have ever fucking bled, and that was like, God, that was fuck that freaked me out. But like the photo's really funny because I'm like smiling really big in the photo, but I'm just covered in fucking blood. Yeah,
yeah. That'll look good in court.
No, those weren't the photos that went to the court.
You need to show me the photo sometime.
I wanted to be like doing that in the photos that went to court. Yeah, but yeah, that would have been some blood that I think I would have liked to have collected and used to curse someone very specific. You know what? I just realized something. That list. It did put your enemies on there as people whose blood you can use.
Yeah, no,
so
Book of the Law is
based on my description of myself and what I think the problem there was. Okay, fine. Just put that under the enemies category and call it a day.
What if you're your own worst
That's
enemy?
what I'm getting at.
Oh,
here.
okay.
Yes.
That's funny.
You know, funny you mentioned that. I had this job one time in this warehouse, and this other guy kept getting these like huge dinner plate sized moths that lived up in the rafters and like throwing them over the shelf onto my head. And so he cut his finger one day.
On a moth?
On something, and like there was a drop of it on the floor. He had went to the bathroom to wrap his finger up, so I got some tissue and dabbed it up, and then later on when it had dried, I went out and burned it, and I said, "You were stuck in a labyrinth. You were flummoxed.
What?
You were flummoxed and unknowably lost."
Holy shit, dude!
What did
this guy do to you? He threw moths at you.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
That's fucked up. That is not a good work environment.
Get hit by
So, anyways, for the next week, apparently he had a mental psychotic break.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit, Max!
Power of the blood.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Slam dunk on that one.
I can attest to that. I don't gladly say that I did that. That was a terrible thing to do to another.
No, that was an awesome, badass thing that you did to that prick who was throwing fucking moths at you.
Dead moths.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
They
probably
were
made a big.
They were
slap
They said they were
dust.
snacking on the cardboard out back and going to live and fuck up in the rafters.
Yeah.
And there were
Just
tons
being
of
moths, thriving.
Yeah, thriving and get and what a dick. Like, yeah, I'm not. I think you took care of that like a real wizard.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of had to get into a huff about it before I did it. Like, you need to get blood pumping before a blood spill, I think.
Maybe so.
In order to use your own blood to amplify those effects.
Perhaps you do. I was
the quickening McLeod.
I mean,
look at the quickening.
Look at the stag.
Art Bell passed away recently.
Yeah.
Who?
Art Bell.
Art Bell.
Oh.
Did he write that book, The Quickening?
I don't know. Can I have a sip of your Red Bull?
Oh, it's all gone. Sorry, homie. Yeah, there's nothing left in that.
Okay.
Sure?
I'll go get something when we're done.
Okay, yeah. Well, I wanted to go over a little bit of what my ritual was. So, suffice to say, my friend, turned out our schedules were kind of conflicting. And I was a little bit conflicted about it myself.
That's okay.
So, that didn't happen. So, I had a comically pathetic attempt at extracting my own blood. First, I did the lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram, cleaned out the room of all negative energy. And then proceeded to, I said, okay, to myself, I'm going to use the athame, the blade this time. And so I got it and I tried to poke my finger, like in the movies, you do like a little poke and a little red drop comes out. It didn't happen. My fingers are extremely calloused.
let me
Feel
see,
my
like,
fingertip.
Yeah, you've got leathery
shit,
man
dude.
hands, like where you've got a lot of friction on those finger pads.
Move over, Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah.
We got like a new creature.
We got a swamp creature.
It's
here.
from guitar.
It's from
playing guitar so good.
Yeah.
that I got all these big calluses on my fingers.
If you were a professional guitarist, you would understand.
So when I
that,
tried to draw blood from my fingertips to make a pact with the devil, it just wouldn't happen. I'm losing my character. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much what.
douchebag guitar boy.
Yeah, and then I tried.
No,
using a
Adam,
pin.
you didn't lose that character.
Yes, and check out my black metal band Yagan on Bandcamp. And then I tried using a pin, and that didn't work either. That wouldn't poke through enough.
Is that what these gothic black thumbtacks are for?
I did get gothic black thumbtacks.
These are like, you know what? I saw these when I walked in the room, and I thought, I bet this was the instrument he tried to use. Like these
They were
are
what was around.
these are super goth.
They are really goth.
Black, just totally black, just thumbtacks.
So
push pins, if you will.
Yeah, pushed pins. So I didn't wasn't able to draw blood that way, and so I did the self-harmy thing of slicing across like my stomach in little bits, to try and collect some. You guys are looking at me like, what's wrong with you?
No,
but
no, it's okay.
As
long as you're not.
It's awkward to talk about.
This is super goth. Keep going.
Okay. No, back when I was younger and more depressive, that's where I used to do it. Like I'd cut my stomach,
Okay, so all right, elephant in the room then.
What?
Time, guys. Who would ever
self-harmed?
Who would self-harm out of anyone in this group?
Would now or
has in
I
the past?
did it all the
I
time.
have.
I think we all have.
Okay.
I like to burn myself.
Well, I would burn
sometimes.
myself.
That's so extreme.
Okay, so here we are, kind of pussyfooting around this blood magic thing,
and
yet
Yeah.
here we all have been in the past, just like I don't care.
Oh, I see.
I work in a kitchen. I still like
Like-
to burn myself sometimes.
just to feel alive.
Yeah, what was it we were trying to get out of it before
Oh, no.
that made us have no inhibition about doing it at the time, that now when we have actual purpose behind doing it, we're just like, I couldn't cut myself right.
I couldn't.
Yeah,
It
I
hurts.
don't. It hurts.
I did
right.
fine though.
Oh, okay.
Tell me more about your ritual.
I'm sure you did good, Max. You
I
usually
honestly
use
like.
blood.
I barely felt it because it just was such a delicate part of the skin that it just kind of
Yeah. No, I couldn't have imagined like if someone else were giving me their blood, unless they did it to themselves, and then that's fine.
Anyway,
I don't want to draw blood. It makes me nauseous thinking about it, but I did get a little bit on some droplets, to come out on my stomach. So I put it in my mouth, mixed up with my spit, and I spit in the candle as I was.
You used a candle too.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I spit in it, and as the blood and spit was leaving my lips, I envisioned. This was for actually my friend. He's having some trouble in his relationship, and so I used that moment to be like, I want the best outcome to happen for my
nice.
friend in this relationship, because I don't know whether you want to say like I want them to stay together or I want them to break.
You just want the individuals involved to have a good,
Exactly,
healthy outcome. Because
I
like
don't know
you
what's
can't
best
say
for them.
what,
Yeah.
who should stay together or what. Like, I mean, if the relationship's in the tank and like they suddenly 180 like that, like, I mean, I think there's a natural inclination to be suspect of those kind of turning points and things like.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they do break up, I hope it doesn't cause a lot of pain for them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was basically it. Just something positive sent that way. Because my other friend, who I was gonna help her out with something, and the universe already acted it.
But she got it. She got her lucky charm on her own.
Yeah. Actually, I might. Well, I'm not gonna take credit for anything this week. I'm feeling
You might have
magically drained.
you might have had some hand in her good fortune.
Maybe I might have done the spell about that
Maybe.
a week or so ago. So that was basically my experience. Yeah, it's hard to do. And I don't know if I felt that strongly about because actually I want to tell a story really quick. I'd say it was like maybe 10 years ago or something when I was first getting into magic. And I was doing like, just kind of my own little mishmash of things.
Yeah, I remember these days.
Yeah, because my friend was really into Santeria and he was becoming a priest. And but he was showing me stuff about Aleister. Like he's the guy who introduced me to like Aleister Crowley and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And but I was doing this one ritual. And like I had like I had a demon statue and a Jesus statue on two different sides. And for the Jesus statue, I would pray, and then like regular Christian style. And for the demon statue, I would give it blood. Normal stuff. And
like
what
you
do in college,
right?
And so I was, but one time when I was like cutting myself to get blood to the demon, I put it on its mouth. Everything like started to turn red for a second, and I felt extremely overwhelmed with like this negative energy inside of me.
Oh, you saw the flash,
and I fell down.
Yeah,
like, I just like dropped, like because I was like so overwhelmed with like this intense red feeling and stuff. And
that was like what I feel like that's similar to the thing I felt with the red insects crawling on me.
Oh, that's right.
When I was doing the trying to summon the guardian angel.
Yeah.
And Max has been talking about the flashes as well, which
when I use my magic sometimes.
Are they red flashes?
Yeah.
It's not like for more than 10 seconds, but I'll know something significant happened,
Yeah.
They make themselves known, these powers.
Right. I think I've been infested myself with demons so many times. At this point, there's no more room.
Right.
It's a slum inside of my soul. Anyways.
You gotta let an angel in.
It's the song I'm working on too, by the way. Okay. So Max, what was your experience?
So I didn't really follow any of the examples I saw online or that were shown to me. I thought, okay, so this is one of those ingredient spell things.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to use some, like just a few drops of my own blood. And then I'm thinking, okay, well, I can't just end there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, I'm more of a sensor type magician.
Yeah.
Like I can find things sometimes. So I'm like, okay, so something that flies. I need something from something that flies. And I was walking around at the park, and there were some ravens.
Oh, no.
And I didn't chase them off, but like they flew off, and one of them left a feather.
Oh, okay.
And so I burnt the feather, mixed that with like the ash from, and then with a few drops of my blood. And the way I extract the blood is I got this blackberry bush that I've cultivated at my dad's house, and I sometimes keep those thorns around for this type of activity.
Ooh.
Or just, if I want to just, simply
Max,
inflict a little pain.
You find I think most just like kind of earthy, creative tools to use for when we do these, like that sage wand you made, and just like your potion, and a lot of the stuff that you do is just like very like kind of holistic and earthy,
druidic
in a way that I think
kind of am.
I don't know, it just lends a certain amount of authenticity, and I think
so
I don't know, just credence to what you're doing.
I know
as
what you
a
mean.
wizard. Like, I don't know, I don't
really have to search for the answer sometimes.
Right.
I just need to not think about it.
I feel
and then
like
it comes to me.
Like the world around you just kind of can give you these things that you use to conduct your magical.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it's really just kind of like a revolving,
like a whirlwind.
Yeah, just this revolving thing where you can just like reach out and get the next thing that you need to do your next magical act. Yeah, just I don't know, something about the way that you always seem to find these very naturalistic
Well, you're a
tools.
you're a very powerful wizard too.
Well, I don't I'm not. Oh
guys.
shucks,
Oh, my
man.
God.
I'm really just like your method. Fucking like it trips me out sometimes, man. I dig it.
So you lash yourself with the thorns.
Yeah, but before I used the thorn, I waved the end in front of like a flame and then set it down in the sun and then put some isopropyl on it from like one of those little swatch things you tear open.
Yeah.
So I mixed that together just on a piece of parchment. And what I did was I drew kind of like half of an eye, half of an eye.
Half of an eye.
Not a full eye, half of an
Okay.
eye on my forehead. Sometimes I've gone full eye, but I didn't want to.
Like those half sunglasses downstairs.
Yeah.
Man, those were cool.
That and like kind of like some whiskers almost on each side.
So
of
like
the face.
Kiss.
Yeah.
What's that guy? Peter Criss, the drummer.
So I did
I
that.
don't know.
I did that, and while I was doing it, while I was preparing, I was just, all right, what do I got to envision? Something that I'm looking for. So I thought, oh, well, money's always nice.
Yeah.
So I was just imagining calmly like a seething, breathing, shitting dollar sign.
Oh wow.
And so I'm like, okay, I got to go find somewhere that I can find money. So I go to a Goodwill store. I go to a couple thrift stores. I go to a library.
Not a lot of money in any of those places.
That's
though.
like
No.
the definition of like.
But here's
broke.
where
The-
where
of being
it
broke,
comes in.
yeah.
I was
Right.
able when I was in certain sections of those places, namely where there are books, to like switch it on. And I didn't see a red flash. I saw like a green flash this time, but it was like shining parts in like certain parts of the.
Did you find any first editions
I
and
found-
sell them on eBay?
I found a $20 bill inside of a book.
What?
Wow.
I found a neat old bookmark.
Wait,
What?
for real?
Yeah.
What?
I found money inside.
You found
of books.
cash.
What book was it?
It was just one of them was like The Golden Bough, which is kind of about. I've actually read it before. It was about
I've heard of that
fairy tale like qualities of certain world religions
one.
and how does the good guy always win though?
You found cash
I found cash
in a book.
I found old ticket stubs people left behind in books mainly. I found stuff. more stuff
Max,
at libraries.
Just roll it back.
Yeah.
You did a spell. You cast a spell to help you find money, and then you found cash inside of a random book that you picked up at a thrift store. That is a fucking slam dunk, my friend.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? It happened this time?
I could feel like the
That
energy drawing my
Max,
hand.
am I correct in my assessment of what occurred?
Of my one of my max powers, which is to do something like that, and then use like a sensory,
Okay.
extra
So
sensory type.
Max, hold on, real quick, yes or no?
Yes.
Just real quick. I'm not done. Before you answer, let me just run this by you.
Go ahead.
You used a blood magic spell with a thorn and a raven's feather to summon money, and then when you went out, you found $20 inside of a random book at a thrift store.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. All right. Just stop listening to
This show, yeah, we
go
have.
go read Max's new book, Modern Druidic Moves for Modern Times.
Wow, Max.
Way to go, man.
Fucking A, dude.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just whatever spell that you create or you create for yourself or you invent, just don't ever doubt yourself. Just know the steps beforehand. Be in a state of mind that is just, all right, I'm doing this, it's happening. I'm doing it and it's happening.
Wow.
It's happening as I'm doing it.
Well, it sure did happen. You
Yeah,
got
Max.
$20.
Yep.
I got some scrapes on my belly.
And then, although I'm not done,
okay.
I got kind of a headache later on, and so I was kind of out most of the
Did
rest
anyone
of the
else get
day.
a headache this week?
Me?
I
Oh
did.
my God!
Although there's a lot of like tree pollen and shit in the air.
I'm
right
not
now.
going straight to sinus headache allergy symptoms, but I mean, it
that
definitely
what it
felt
is?
like it. But good God, I had one splitting ass headache this week myself, Max. Sounds like Adam did too.
I had the headache, and then there was for a while in my peripheral vision this like spinning wheel or something.
Oh,
It was crazy.
the wheel in the sky keeps on turning.
Wow. So yeah, way to go, man.
Thank you.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that's our blood magic trials there. You should go out and try some yourself. Remember, you don't need a lot of blood, just a little bit. Isn't that like kind of how homeopathic medicine works?
Yeah, just the
tiniest
introducing the
sliver.
smallest amount of this positive thing to your system will multiply itself some way.
Yeah. It works better.
We'll see
in
if this
smaller
works in
amounts.
multiples
And
for us.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was the show. So let's wrap it up here, guys.
Hey, any ideas for next week's show? Something our
Hats,
viewers
hats.
can look for.
I'm always gonna say that.
hats.
And we can't do a whole episode on hats.
Wizard
Diamond Drew.
hats
Wizard
are
hats. We could do.
what like if
We
you were
could all
doing
kind of geek
if
out
you
about
were
our own
doing
hat.
if you were doing free word association with someone and you said the word wizard, the first thing they would say is hat.
Really?
Yes.
That could be kind of true, actually.
That's
Yeah.
it's kind of a archetypal association.
But if we do an episode on hats, then we don't ever have to do another episode.
then
on
again,
hats, right?
learned men in
one-
the community classically have worn hats. so-
It is often a symbol of rank or stature. The point being here is, yes, Adam, once we do the hat episode, I will no longer be able to suggest that we do the hat episode.
I
'Cause
think
you
we
just got a
need to
book
just
on
do the
dragon
hat
magic.
episode.
Well, I guess so.
Well, and we did get that Dragon Magic book, which
Yeah.
I have actually been. That one's a lot of fun. If we
Yeah.
want to check that out, it might be kind of fun.
Oh man, one of our listeners sent us in this idea, a book coming out by Robin Artisan
I
called
haven't heard of them.
Ankara Gwyn, Sorcery in the Ancient Fairy Faith.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah, so Ankara Gwyn is an extensive work covering every angle and dark folkloric corner of the ancient fairy-related beliefs of Europe and the British Isles.
Oh, huzzah!
Yeah, it's
Faye
in-depth
Dunaway.
analysis
You get
of
that Ren Fair kind of vibe going.
fairy
Little
faith and
Lord of the Rings action here.
hey,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've never thought it. My dad.
I might
likes
look into
fairies.
that. I like that idea that there are or were fairies.
Yeah, a lot of people. There's one guy took pictures of them famously.
Yeah.
or these girls said they took pictures of them.
Oh, I saw that movie a
Yeah.
long ass time ago. He had these cameo cameras. He called them cameo cameras. Here's a camera for you. Here's a camera for you. And then while ranging them or like finding sight, for like flower 10 feet away, he saw one of them.
Yeah,
That happened in this movie, and I think he ends up getting hanged or something
as it should be the that's the proper punishment, I think, for capturing
for
a fairy
saying
on
for
film.
saying that
Well-
there are fairies, though, for like bringing up pagan things because.
Well, yeah. Once again, we have often seen
We
that
have the
there is-
secular world.
that there has been a theme of mundanes and normies trying to cast people who believe in this stuff in a
Yes.
negative light and demonize them
I
in
do not
ways in
believe in
which
that.
which causes them to often
I will not stand
see,
for it.
injustice or tragedy or worse. So that tracks. But that guy was just a huckster. He was just faking weird photographs, dude.
I don't know some of the evidence.
Okay.
I don't believe the government's.
No, I'm not.
There was a movie though. It might have been John Cusack.
I think
was
it
called
was
Pictures
it was
of
called
Fairies.
It was called Taking Photos of Fairies.
Yeah.
Might have been John
The movie
Cusack.
starring Danny Glover and John Cusack.
So thank you for listening to this week's episode of Let's Just Be Wizards. Next week we will have an awesome new topic and wizard activity to cover. which might be hats. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. It's so helpful to the show. And we'll transmit infinite power to you through the ethers. And if you want to email us something, you can do it at letsjustbewizards@gmail.com or hit us up on Facebook. And if you have a book or wizardly item you want reviewed on the show, let us know, and we can provide you a physical address to send it to. That book I mentioned earlier is not out yet, but when it is, check it out, probably by the time you listen to this. So yeah, thank you for listening. Practice safe magic whenever possible. And that's all I got.
Oh, thank you again to our Patreon donators.
Hell yeah!
And get ready for get ready for your magic item.
We're gonna work on
your magic song lyrics.
Some lyrics for you. We're gonna look into that.
I'm gonna look deep within to my most creative self to find more good song lyrics.
They shall be conjured.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Good night.